Hi, today we're going over section 5.4, dividing radical expressions. In this video, we'll do problem number 1 and talk about the you try it problem number 2. Notice when you take the radical form, if you raise a whole fraction to the nth root, you can also separate that a to the nth and b to the nth root. Remember when we talked about if I have possessive parentheses and then raised to rational exponents in the last section, you want to clean up what's on the inside first? Well, same thing here. If you have a root in the top and a root in the bottom, that looks crazy. If it's the same index, so the cube root and the cube root, or the square root and the square root, and you can put it all under one root, do that. Sometimes going backwards is most helpful. Put everything under that radical, simplify, and then take it out of the radical. Let's see what I mean with a few examples. Look at A, square root of 100 over 81. Can I simplify 181? Is there anything they're both divisible by to kind of clean that up? No. So I simply take the square root of 100 over the square root of 81. The square root of 100 is 10, and the square root of 81 is 9. That's it. You're done. What about square root of 11 over square root of 25? Can you simplify anything inside first? No. Then go ahead and separate it. Root 11 over root 25. You can leave it as the square root of 11, and then the square root of 25 is 5. So square root of 11 over 5. Math nerds do not like square roots in the denominator, but they don't mind if they're in the numerator. So you're done. All right, let's look at letter C. Notice that we could separate it and take the fourth root of 640 and the fourth root of 40. We could try that and then simplify later. But why? If you can divide first, divide first. Take the root first. Simplify any big number into a smaller number first, then you're less likely to make errors. Okay, let's divide 640 divided by 40. So they can both be divided by 10, and then 64 over 4 is 16. What? I just got rid of the fraction. So the fourth root of 16. What times what times what times what will give you 16. So the fourth root of 16 is 2. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 will give you 16. That's it, you're done. See how much easier that was than trying to separate it into two separate roots and then going from there? Divide first. Take the root first. Anytime you can make a big number smaller, do it. Let's go to D. Now, this already is one big cube root, so we love that. Let's clean it up on the inside first if we can. 8 and 125? Nope. X and R? Nope. So go ahead and separate. This is the cube root of 8x cubed over the cube root of 125 r to the 12th. How do I take that cube root? In the numerator, I'll have 2x. What times what times what gives you 8x cubed? 2x. And in the denominator, I know the cube root of 125 is 5. And then remember, you're just dividing 12 divided by 3. Let's remember that. So the cube root of r to the 12th, if I change this to rational exponent form, I get r to the 12 thirds. You're just dividing 12 divided by 3. So this becomes r to the 4th. And there's nothing else to simplify, and we're set. Let's look at E. Notice I have a -5 out front, not underneath any root, just leave it out front. So when I'm trying to simplify, I will always have this -5 out front and then go from there. Notice a cube root and a cube root. Do you think we should mash them together and try to simplify and divide first? Yes. So take the cube root of 32 over 4, and then a to the 10th over a to the 4th, and then b to the 10th over b. Let's think about each piece, clean it up, and then apply the cube root. So don't forget about the -5. That's what people do. They just get deep into the roots and they forget about the -5. So just keep writing that every step. And then we have this cube root. 32 over 4 is 8. Awesome. Here, remember you move the smaller number and change the sign. So I will subtract 4. So 10 minus 4 would be a to the 6th. Same rule, move the smaller guy. This is b to the first power. So I'll move the smallest number, which is 1, and subtract it. 10 minus 1 is 9, so b to the ninth. Well, that was easy. I just mashed it together and simplified by dividing first each of the separate ideas there. Boom, I got rid of my fractions. That's cool. Now, remember taking the cube root of 8 is not 8 divided by 3. It's what times what times what is 8. So I have the -5. The cube root of 8 is 2, so that comes out. Then you divide by 3 when you have exponents. Just like we talked about up here with the r, you will do 6 divided by 3, so you're left with a squared, and 9 divided by 3, so you're left with b to the third power. Now we can multiply -5 times 2. Finally, -5 can be involved. -10, and then a squared, b cubed. Let's look at the you try it problems. So pause the video, see if you can do the you try it, and then we'll come back and look at the answer. Hope you did well. Let's check it out. First of all, you kind of separate under the square root the 300 over 3, and then the y to the 11th over y to the 7th. 300 divided by 3 is 100, so I have the square root of 100. And then 11 over 7, I subtract the 7. So 11 minus 7 is 4, so y to the 4th. There are two separate ideas happening. The square root of 100 is 10, whereas 4 divided by 2 is 2. So when you're dealing with the exponents, you divide. When you're taking the root of a whole number, you think about how many of the exact same number multiply to give you that. Okay, so 4 divided by 2, that would give you 10y squared. Beautiful how it cleans up. Let's look at b. There's a -2 out front, so just leave that alone. And then I see these are both cube roots, so let's mash it together and see if we can simplify. So 250x divided by 2x to the 4th. 250 divided by 2 is 125, so I've got the -2, and then I have the cube root of 125, and then move the smaller number and change the sign, so I will subtract 1 down here in the denominator, which leaves me with x cubed. Now that I've cleaned up on the inside, I can apply the cube root. So -2, the cube root of 125 is 5. And then the cube root of x cubed, so it divides to 1, or they undo each other, and you just get x. So the answer for B is -10 over x. Keep up the good work, keep it clean and organized, and have fun with this puzzle. See you next time.